Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Why Peach McIntyre will never sit down with Funky Dineva, and why that's the smartest move she'll never ever admit. Look, let's talk about power platforms and the performance of control. Because when it comes to Peach McIntyre and the Funky Dineva, we are not just talking about two influencers, we're talking about two empires built on the opposite end of the truth spectrum. Okay, so let's tap into this. The narrative control is her currency. Peach doesn't do interviews, she does uploads. She controls the lighting, the angle, the edit, and the comment section. Sitting across Dineva means surrendering that control. And Peach, baby, she's not built for surrender. Here's another thing. Funky Dineva does not do softballs. What do you mean by that? Let me explain. He's not going to ask, how did you build your brand? Going to ask, why did you weaponize your audience against critique? And Peach McIntyre knows that is a question she can't answer without unraveling her empire. Now let's talk about the audience a little bit. Her audience alignment is off. Peach sees her audience as aspirational. What do I mean by that? They're looking at her for aspirational content. Mm, I could delve more into her audience, but that's another topic. Dineva's audience sees through aspiration and looks into accountability. That's not a crossover episode. That's a collision waiting to happen. Total train wreck. Now, look here. Peach built her own echo chamber. Peach's platforms are curated for praise of her. Dineva's platform is curated for truth. And truth doesn't always trend. Remember now, she's lost that 1 point whatever it is million uh followers on TikTok. So she's trying to do everything she can now for clicks and views. But this right here, having a sit down with Funky Neva, Q, Quentin, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. That'll be like watching a train wreck. You know the trains are gonna collide, and one of them will get smashed to pieces. I said to peaches. Oh gosh. Now let's continue on. She's avoided accountability publicly. Now we're going to get into this so-called rebranding of herself being a woman of integrity. Mushi! Mushi! Excuse me, I had to sneeze. We're going to talk about that in another video. But she really has. She's avoided accountability publicly. From breakdowns to breakthroughs, Peach has never sat in the hot seat. Dineva is the hot seat. And I'm sure Peach McIntyre and other toxic uh, creators know this. Here's another thing. Y'all think she really trying to share the spotlight? Ham sandwich, no. Peach is the main character in her world. She doesn't care about nobody but her children and her husband. Now, on Dineva's show, she would be a guest. That's a role that she's never rehearsed. Now let's talk about her monetization tactic. She's monetized mystery and mess. Her brand thrives on selective transparency. A real interview would force her to unpack the contradictions. That's not a part of her monetization model. Peach also knows the power of the cutaway clip. One shady edit, one viral soundbite, and her entire, y'all hear me, entire narrative could be reframed. And she's kind of media savvy when it comes to that. Kind of. She doesn't want to risk that at all. At all. You hear me? She's not built for the roast culture. She's not. Because these jokers will roast her to smithereens should she be on somebody else's platform. Dineva's platform is part entertainment, part critique. Peach's vulnerability and low self esteem and volatile personality. I was trying to think of a good word to put there. Her volatility would make her an easy target, and she knows it. Here's something else. She doesn't really need it yet until Peach really needs a redemption arc or a rebrand, which she's trying to do now, but she's failing miserably at it, and I don't think she realizes that. But I tell you what, she's going to keep her distance from platforms that are do not play by her rules. Listen, y'all, this isn't shade, it is strategy. Peach McIntyre, I'm not going to say she's mastered the art, but she's pretty good at controlled chaos. But now, Funky Dineva now is a master of commentary with bite. Let me repeat that again. Funky Dineva is a master of commentary with bite. Putting them in the same room would be iconic, but also combustible. And who y'all think gonna buoy up? It's gonna be Peach McIntyre all the way. Well, all right then. That's what I have for this particular segment. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the official Queen of the Bling TV. Now, I've got something special coming up the pike for those that wish to learn how to actually do content creation with excellence and integrity. Later, y'all.